All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me.
How's it going, beautiful people? Hold on a second. Just one more quick look. Oh, I miss it so much. Wait. Delete. Goodbye. I conquered you. How's it going, folks? How's it going? We are 2 weeks to the day away from Dallas Mavericks basketball starting, obviously 13 days away from the NBA season itself starting. So next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, conference predictions, obviously. Don't know which one we'll start with. Friday, our last stream before the season starts will be, well, I guess we'll stream that Monday. But Friday, our last stream will be the awards prediction stream. We're so close, man. I'm so happy basketball's back. I really am. How do you pick the music you'll subject us to each stream? I don't like the way you worded that. So I sent you a package to the address you provided me. Did you receive a package that was addressed to Timmy Brooks? Oh shit. Let me ask. Okay. I saw your message. Taco lady at work started carrying White Monster. We up. Was White Monster the sugar-free one? What up, bro? You had early PT this morning. Eviscerated it. Dominated it. Conquering physical therapy. You know, physical therapy has taught me a lot of things. It's taught me some important life lessons. The last few months have. It's been a tough few months, man. There's no two ways around it. Melverick, you're gonna have to message me. I'll message you after the stream. But it's taught me some important lessons, man. The last few months. You always got to trust the process. Control what you can control. Win what you can win at. Some things you can't control. It sucks. Because you want to control everything. Some things you just can't control. Trust the process. Win at everything you can win at. And things will work out for you. It might not work out how you think it'll work out. And it might not be as quick as you think. It might not take as quick as you want it to take. It might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen next week. It might not happen next month. Shit, it might not even happen next year. But if you control your controllables and win what you can win at, good things will happen to you. And things that you might not have even expected will happen to you. What up, Ivani? All right. Let's get into it a little bit today. Dwight Powell update? What is the update? Missed you on lockdown after the game. We were going to get on, and then I joined, and Nick was at the game, and the Wi-Fi was so terrible. We couldn't do it. And he was like, do you mind if I... And I was like, dude, I don't know if I'm going to be awake. I had an early morning the next day. So that's why. I was going to. The Wi-Fi was just so shit. Trying a new Chobani creamer flavor. Got Chobani on my jeans. Cookie butter. It's all right. It's okay. It's fine. It is what it is. Not writing home about it. I'm not throwing a parade for it. I'm not having a celebration because of it. You guys get what I'm saying. Was worried they moved you off post games. No. I'm going on tonight. We're definitely doing post games this year. And I'm gonna be annoying as fuck. I'm just telling you guys, when it comes to any Mavs related thing, I'm gonna be annoying because and by the way, I'm gonna be on State of the League. We recorded it yesterday. It's gonna be out soon. I fucking love going on that show. So next State of the League episode will be me. Just me. They're not on it. Jack and Pablo aren't on it. It's just me. Yeah, I'm going to be on my villain arc this year. You need to give Isaac a cardboard cutout of you so he can just play it if he fills in for you post game. That would be pretty funny. There's a fantasy football, the biggest fantasy football podcast, right? Fantasy footballers. I listen to that and they have cardboard cutouts when someone's out. It's pretty funny. That would be a funny bit if someone just hosted someone's show without any explanation at all and that was it and it was a one-off thing. I always love the idea of one-off things that make no sense and are never explained. All right. Let me start here with this. So I got to be honest, I haven't fully locked in on preseason stuff. I'm pacing myself this year. Last year NBA preseason started, I was like, I need to watch every preseason game I can. I'm not doing that shit. I'm sorry. I just don't give a fuck about preseason. I'll watch the Mavs, obviously. And if I'm not doing anything, I'll watch. I've been watching playoff baseball, and it's been great. That Yankees game last night was awesome. But I have kind of been keeping up enough to know. So I'm like, hey, this team's doing this. This guy's playing really well. And so I'm happy about that. Playoff baseball stats, by the way, have been so good viewership-wise. I saw that. It does raise some interesting questions for me. Baseball massively succeeded making the gigantic changes they wanted to make, right? And huge, ginormous rule changes. The changes that baseball's made in the last half decade have fundamentally changed the game forever. They got rid of the National League pitchers hit rule. That's how the league was forever. So that was a huge monumental change. That was met with a lot of criticism at first from the baseball purists. Then they add the pitch clock. Met with a lot of criticism at first from baseball purists. Then they made the bases bigger and they made it to where you can only pick off twice. Met with a lot of harsh criticism from baseball purists. But guess what? It's paid off dramatically. They changed the extra inning rules. Met with a lot of criticism by baseball purists. It's helped out tremendously. And now they have a legitimately great product. I I think it also helps out the MLB that like the two biggest markets, LA and New York, have the two biggest superstars in the game. And not only do they have the two biggest superstars, but both of those guys are like genuine all-time great players. Like Shohei might be the greatest to ever play the game. And Judge is up there. So they're doing auto balls and strikes next year too. Yeah, and that's also been met with criticism. And I'm sure it'll work out great, you know? Now, as someone who was a catcher growing up, playing at, a high level, the highest level that you can play outside of college, high school. The art of framing and catching is part of the game in a way that I'd hope they don't get rid of. But I don't mind having the ABS for like one or two critical pitches in a game. Degenerate gambler face off. Who's the GOAT, Ohtani or Jordan? Well, Jordan never. Well, there's some people who think Jordan got caught. Oh, I wanted to look at this. I saw this just popped up on my script, on my thing. Ball Bandit, 185 followers. No clue, but I like this format, and I might steal it. Jordan had to quit the league. That's fair. I don't think you could possibly beat Jordan's degeneracy. Oh, see, like Jordan was kind of out front in your face, right? He'd be at casinos. Whereas Ohtani's sort of this secret, almost cabal type feeling. And now someone's going to prison because of it, right? Isn't his interpreter going to prison? All feels just too dark. All feels just a little too excessive in my IMPO. And guys, IMPO means in my personal opinion. So typically IMO means in my opinion. So when someone says IMO to you, they mean in my opinion. I've added the P to it. So it's IMPO, which means in my personal opinion, which I do think is an important distinction. You guys write that down, okay? Can you guys write that down? All right, let's look at this. Ball Bandits 25-26 stock market. I'm interested. Taylor Hendricks stock up immediately? All right, this guy's a nerd. Potential to be all-time defender. All right. Can you add H for humble? I am HPO in my humble personal opinion. I don't mind that. How is IMPO diff from IMO? So guys, when someone says diff, they mean different. An opinion is always personal, right? Well, I think there's an added sort of like in my personal opinion, right? Versus in my opinion. In my opinion is, it's strong. In my personal opinion is very strong. Now, if you add in my humble personal opinion, then that's very, very strong. So guys, write all of that down. Jordan Poole, very excited to see Poole as a full-time point guard and how he contribute to winning basketball once again. I'm actually quite interested in Jordan Poole as well. I don't know if I would say my stock is high on him, is going up, but I am interested. London Hoops with the 199 is 17-6-5 with 3 stocks realistic for a Cooper Flag. I'm assuming you mean IYOPO. So what he's asking is in your own personal opinion. I'm just insinuating there. Man. God, it's so hard trying to map out what Flag stat line is going to be, huh? 17-6-5 does feel attainable pretty easily. 3 stocks. 3 stocks is kind of a lot. I mean, that'd be great. IMPO is def, diff, and guys, def is short for definite, definitely. Is def, diff, then IMO, IMHO. So IMHO means in my honest opinion or humble. There's 2 different schools of thought on what it means. What did Wemby Chet average? Well, I mean, Wemby was like had 3 blocks a game as a rookie, wasn't he? Let's see. Chet rookie year was 2.3 blocks, 0.6 steals. So, you know, he's a center. So it's a little bit different. What would be a good comp for Flag defensively with his kind of skill set? Karolinko. Was Karolinko... All right. Karolinko didn't even get to 3 stocks. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he did. Wait, no, he didn't. Wait, no. He did. He did. He got the 3 stocks. 3 stocks kind of seems high. Tatum? No. Tatum's never averaged 3 stocks in his career. Not really a block guy, though. 3 stocks would be kind of crazy. Like, I think that would be pretty damn good if you got to that. Zion. Oh, this guy might be high on the Pelicans then. All right. This is finally the season Zion enters those top 10 conversations. He just has to stay on the court. If he's on the floor, I think he's always in those conversations. So you're banking on his health. I don't hate a Zion bet. This is why I'm very confused on where I'm at with the Pelicans, because I do kind of think we get a healthy Zion season for some reason. And if that is the case, then I think they'll probably be pretty good. But at the same time, someone's got to be losing games in the West. And if I'm just picking a team to have a nightmarish season from hell season, I'm always going to pick the Pelicans. Healthy Zion consensus top 10. I don't know if I would say consensus, but he's in the convo. Chet has cemented himself as a top 2 defender in the world, but I believe that offensive production we saw pre-injury could be sustainable. I'm with you on that. I really am. I'm with you on this. I'm with our guy Bandit here. I think we could see a Chet Holmgren offensive leap in production. And I've said this. If you do get that, I do not think that team can be beaten in the playoffs currently by any other team. Yell at me all you want. You guys yelled at me all last year and they won. Is it a season from hell if you never left? That's a good question. Neesmith, one of the most valuable role players in the league. I don't see his impact fading with the loss of Halliburton. Elite shooter and good defender. Would like to see more rim attempts with more on-ball opportunities. Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't know if I would go stock up on any Pacers role guys besides like Nembhard maybe. Only because I think Neesmith will probably... Any of these role players will see, you know, their games will hurt without a guy like Halliburton on the floor. So do you see any reason why Flag can't average 100, 100, 100? It could happen. It could happen. No, Neesmith is a good shooter, for sure. Jalen Johnson, yeah, my stock's high on him. I mean, he already kind of had his breakout. You know, it kind of reminds me, and I'm not saying Jalen Johnson is going to be this level of player, but it sort of reminds me of those couple of Shea years where they shut him down halfway through the season, once with a broken foot. I don't remember what the other one was, but they shut him down, and then he had a healthy season, and everyone was like, whoa, the Shea breakout. It's like, no, Shea is broken out already. He just didn't finish the seasons. It's kind of how I feel with Jalen Johnson, where it's like, no, Jalen Johnson's pretty much already made the leap, but he just hasn't been healthy. Jalen Johnson was well on his way to making his first All-Star selection before the injury, and I believe this will be the season. Point forward, that was a perfect fit next to Trey. Yeah, he is. He's fucking great. I love Jalen Johnson. Buy some stock, guys. Write this one down. Buy some stock on Jalen Johnson. Now, Neesmith's a great shooter, 100%. Pistons young core. All right, yeah, I'm in on that. I agree. You know, I was thinking about this because who was I talking with this about? Stay the league, guys. How funny like preseason kind of is because Ron Holland will hit like a mid-range jumper in like the first preseason game. We're like, oh fuck. Like Ron Holland has added that to his bag. It's in there. But if he missed it, we would never talk about it. You know? So I ran with the 5. Yo, I'm done with the preseason trade rumors. I am ready for the season to start. Also, I'm blocking LeBron word on Twitter. Got debated hard. I'm going to talk about that here in a bit. Oh. You got the Pistons need a slightly used Jaden Hardy? Maybe. Well, so Beef Stew, obviously it sucks that he was hurt in the playoffs last year. I don't know if they would have beat the Knicks with him, but it definitely would have helped. Sucks that he was injured. Jalen Duren really was fantastic for the last few months of the season last year. I'm not sure why he doesn't get talked about as much. Lottery pick, right? Duren was a lottery pick. Lottery pick built like a brick fucking shithouse. And a good pick and roll guy next to Cade going into year 4. Asar, I'm much higher on Asar than consensus. You guys saw that in the top 100 ratings. We'll see about Ron Holland. Surprised no Ivy inclusion here. Like Ivy's somebody that I'm really intrigued by. Pistons are, yeah. Duren has defensive stuff for sure. Duren wasn't that impressive in the playoffs. I'll always give young guys a little bit of a pass in their first postseason. All right, let's see. Mark it down. Let's see. RJ. I just don't think RJ's a guy I had much stock in to begin with. So, okay. Year 7 for RJ Barrett. Wow. That draft class has been in the league for 7 years. I mean, that makes sense. They were the year after the 2018 draft class. RJ stock was only high because he played in New York. Well, RJ's also one of these guys, and I mentioned this when I was talking about him on my top 100 list, where like you see his numbers and his box score, and you're like, okay, RJ's like playing pretty well. But then you watch the game, and it like never translates. It never feels like RJ's like having a super big impact on a game, and then you're looking, he has like 24 points. It's like, oh. Shaden Sharp. So I actually, this is a pretty big year for him. Because what is he? This is year 4 for him, right? And I think they got to make a contract decision on him. Year 4 for Shaden Sharp. Obviously had the second year with the injuries. I think kind of a similar-esque situation where it's like scoring numbers are good. The guy can score the ball. He's incredibly skilled and athletic, but sort of has like the Jalen Green type of thing. Where it's like the highs are high and like really interesting because of his athleticism and shit like that. But then it hasn't been pieced together in a way that you would want it to. And you are reaching the point with him where it's like, will it ever get there? All the cool stuff is cool, but inefficient volume score with no real impact anywhere else. Yeah, I mean, that's year 4. That's what it is. He's got to make an impact on the floor in ways beyond like the high scoring flashes and the admittedly sick dunks. Alperen Şengün. Wow, stock down on Şengün. Interesting. I believe he'll be the 3rd best player on his team this season. So is there a world where that's not even really a knock on him? Like, is it that crazy? Is it like a knock on Şengün to be like, well, KD will be better? Okay, that's not crazy to think at all. I would agree with that. And Amin is better. I don't think that's that crazy really either. I don't know if that's necessarily a knock on Şengün. Şengün's limited scoring ability and inconsistent defense still makes me concerned for how his game can translate in the postseason. That's a valid concern, I think. I kind of agree with you, Bacons. If Şengün's the 3rd best guy on your team, that's pretty fucking good. That's pretty damn good. I think my stock's going up on Şengün. I think my stock's going up. I'll buy into any of the international stuff. I always do, and usually you're right. Has there been instances where it's like, well, this guy popped off in international basketball and then it doesn't really translate? I'm genuinely asking. Ayton, Hey, I won't argue with you there. The Blazers were significantly better with Ayton off the floor last season. Low key, that's some Donovan Clingan propaganda, but we'll save that conversation for another day. Lazy defender and terrible screener. Won't be the pick and roll lob threat Lakers fans imagine will be. Oh, this guy's watched Portland Trailblazers game. This guy's watched Portland Trailblazers games. 100%. He might be a Blazers fan, low key. Oh, Thunder fan. Yeah, this whole, like, I do kind of, the interesting thing with Ayton is we've already seen him be a really good pick and roll player in his career, playing next to Chris Paul, obviously. But he's not a Gafford, Lively, even I'd throw out Dwight Powell. I'll even say Jackson Hayes level screener and real legit lob threat. He likes getting the little pocket pass 8-9 feet away from the basket, or like popping out to the elbow. Now, what is interesting for a guy like Luka is he's never had like the guy who could take advantage of mismatches like Ayton can on those screens. So that'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. But I agree, I don't think he's going to be like this pick and roll lob threat demon. Like the reality with Luka is guys like Gafford, those are his guys. Lively. It's a reason why Hayes did look really good. The athletic, good hard screen setters, roll hard as fuck to the rim. Isn't Dennis Schroeder the Euro GOAT, but never during the season? Yeah, Schroeder's a good one. Anthony Black, okay, I have to ask the question, and I haven't really watched any preseason games. I've seen a lot of Anthony Black hate. Has he had a tough start to the preseason? Has he had a tough start to the preseason? Because I've seen multiple people just be like, yeah, Anthony Black's just not going to be the guy. His shooting hasn't improved enough. Anthony Black's offense is an absolute disaster. Yeah. That sucks, man. I was high on him. Would Ayton be better in the Mavs' current offense than Gaff? No. I just don't like DeAndre Ayton at all. I would not want him on my team. I mean, when we say slightly early, it's a double entendre, right? Slightly early. The show is early in the morning. Well, it used to be on at 9 a.m. That's why we called it slightly early. And now it's on at 11 a.m. Not even really that early anymore. But now that's added to the name because now it's slightly early. Like, it's not really early, but it's kind of early in the day. But also it's called slightly early because I'm early on all my takes. I'm right. It's just early. I'll never forget a couple years ago, I was on my hands and motherfucking knees begging for them to not trade the 12th overall pick or whatever it was for DeAndre Ayton. On my hands and fucking knees, bro. Begging. I'll never forget some of the absolute dog diarrhea, dog shit Kyrie Irving sign-in trades I saw for DeAndre Ayton. DeJounte Murray. Yeah. Is there any update on him at all? I've heard nothing. Nothing at all in DeJounte? People are mock trading 12 for Capella. I think I remember at the time, didn't the Hawks have the 15th pick in that year? I remember at the time I was toying with like trading down with the Hawks and getting Capella in the process, but moving down a couple picks. I'm trying to see. I'm looking up DeJounte Murray's name. Has there been a single like update on him? I mean, I get an update every other minute about Jason Tatum's. I don't see a single word. I don't see a single thing. And Jaylen Brown stock down. Hey, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I 100% agree with this take that I worry about, Bill Simmons. God bless him. God, I love him. Bill Simmons is the fucking greatest to ever do it. And I hope I'm like him when I get to that age, which is a very long ways away, right? So before you guys say anything in the chat, very, very long ways away. Bill Simmons is like toying with the idea that like, could Jaylen Brown lead the league in scoring? It's like, dude, what? Would that not be absolutely crazy? Jaylen Brown leading the league in scoring would just be nuts, man. I mean, what? Like, he'd have to shoot 40 times a game. Interesting. We might do a stock up, stock down thing. I'm going to steal this idea. Not that our guy Bandit is the first one to do it. Yeah, it does suck that Russello's gone on those. Why do I have this up? Best big threes in the NBA next season. OKC, Nuggets, Lakers. Yeah, I'd much rather have the Cavs big three than the Lakers one. Just immediately off rip. Knicks, Rockets, Magic, Timberwolves, Warriors, Clippers. I mean, I don't know why I had this up. I don't really care. Okay. Dude, ESPN's win projection said the Warriors is the 2 seed. Let me see if I can find that. I'm not gonna lie. Anytime I see the Warriors at all, no matter what, it pops in my head immediately. And I can't shake this feeling, and I feel like it's gonna be how it plays out. You light my fire, I'm feeling fine. Outstanding. Da, 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 da. Old ass team. Is this where you said that they had them as a 2 seed? Win projections for all 30 teams. Was this it? Kevin Pelton. Joe Fu, 20 months. And you're guys, what Joe Fu's saying, IYOPHAHO, in your own personal, honest opinion, where do you see the Mavs finishing? I think they'll be a top 6 seed. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to go with it. Do I want to go 3? I've been thinking about it. I'm just going to tell you right now, like spoiler alert for next week when we do our predictions, I'll have the Mavericks in the top 6, and I don't give a fuck. They're going to be in there, and I don't care. You're not going to convince me otherwise. Let's see. Win projections for all 30 teams. They have the Thunder at 59.5, 59.2. Warriors at 56. Huh? I think it is factoring in that the winning stretch they went on with Jimmy. I mean, I cannot. That lineup is so old, man. I don't think I can get there. It's so old. It is so old, man. I think they'll be good, and I'm not betting on them to be like horrible or anything like that. But my Lord, they're so old. The Warriors also have 11 players who rate better than league average. So I'm really interested to see where the Mavs are there. Because I'd 1,000,000% say that the Mavericks are deeper than the Warriors. Josiah, do you have any connections that give any hint to Kyrie's recovery time or like a hopeful date to return? I imagine if he did really well, but I'm so hungry to know what to expect him back. No, I don't think anyone really knows. Well, it's okay. So Kevin Pelton, right? This isn't like a Kevin Pelton opinion piece. This is like his own personal model and how what it predicts these teams. So he's not predicting this. It's what his model is. I want to see Kevin Pelton 2024-2025 NBA predictions. I want to see where we're at. I don't know if I can find it just off the rip. I don't see it off the rip. Last year, my models had the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder inappropriately like the Brooklyn Nets and Trailblazers to be more competitive while putting the Sixers and Suns lower than conventional wisdom. Yeah. Okay. What about the ones you got wrong? Oh, here it is. Last year's. Celtics, Cavs, Bucks, Pacers, Knicks he was low on. Sixers he was kind of low on. Okay, not like too terrible. Really low on the Pistons, so missed that one up. But that they took a big step. Grizzlies were injured. Mavericks had a season from hell. Kings, that makes no sense. The Kings were fucking garbage. Too high on the Suns, but everyone kind of was. Way too low on the Timberwolves for some reason. All right, so it's not, too low on the Rockets, way too low on the Clippers. It's not super accurate, I would say, but interesting. Interesting that the projected wins for this year's is way higher than the ones from last year. Nuggets at 52.5. Yeah, they'll be good. I really don't get the Warriors one at all. Clippers, yeah, the Clippers will be a good team. Again, they're somewhat similar to the Warriors in a way where there's a lot of grandpas on that team. Rockets, Lakers, Grizzlies, Timberwolves, Mavs. They have the Mavs going over the 9 seed. Why so low on the Timberwolves again? I wonder what it is. What is it about his model that hates Minnesota always? Kings at 43.5, Spurs 40, Blazers, Suns, Pelicans, Jazz. Man, wow, the West is so hard to predict. So hard. So he's got the Mavs going under or over. I'll take that. So the Mavs have 8 players who rate better than league average. How do the Warriors have 11? What am I missing there? How on earth do the Warriors have 11? If the Mavs only have 8. I'm looking at their fucking roster. Where do 11 come from? I will gladly say that the Warriors will not win 56 games. That'd be insane. Wow, the highest in the East is projected at 50? Wow, really? He has the Magic at 2 and the Knicks at 3. So why would the Knicks only win 47 games? Just kind of, it sounds like he's kind of factoring in like Brunson's been way too healthy and will probably actually have to miss time this time around. Knicks are entirely overrated. Really? Why do you guys think that? I think the Knicks are the best team in the East. Magic's over-under is 51.5. Wow. That's a risky one. So I'm kind of getting to the point where I think I'm kind of high on the Pacers. Higher than 38.5 at least. I think the Celtics will be ghoulish. I think they'll be fucking awful. I think the Celtics will be awful. Bucks. Very low on the Hawks. Interesting. The hype might be getting a little heavy for the Hawks, whose offseason was undoubtedly positive, but perhaps not transformative in the short term. What would be transformative for Atlanta, though, is like Jalen Johnson being somewhat healthy. Like, to me, that's transformative for them beyond like KP. I'm not even really factoring in KP when I think about the Hawks at all. And some addition by subtraction with like Capella's out the equation now, so Okongwu, you're in. Detroit, largely because of the loss of Malik Beasley, arguably Detroit's second best player last season. Oh. That's a bold claim. But maybe. Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson don't rate anywhere near as effectively as Beasley, who finished second in the NBA and made 3-pointers last season. No, the loss of Malik Beasley is pretty... The loss of Malik Beasley is pretty substantial, I would say. I wouldn't like sleep on it. That's prime. Honest to God, though, you say Ricochet becomes Kawhi Leonard, but like I'm decently high. I had Ricochet in my top 100. Toronto, I think Toronto should be a playing team. Anything other than that would be, obviously, considering how expensive the roster is, a colossal fucking failure. Miami, wow, really low on Philly. It's kind of hard not to be. Bulls, Hornets, Nets, Wizards. Wow, 14 wins. 14 wins for Washington? Wow. It's the worst he's had. It's the worst win total for a model for a team in this model since 2010. Oh man, there's no way they only win 14. I mean, is there any way the Nets are not the worst team in the league? What would have to happen? I mean, these are always interesting to read. I'm not going to shit on anyone's projections. Mavs fans get mad. Dude, the Mavs are one of the hardest teams in the league to predict. So when you're trying to predict the Western Conference, what you're basically doing is, because there's all but like 2 teams are trying to be like super competitive. Maybe 3. You're basically having to predict like, all right, 4 or 5 teams are going to have nightmare seasons that are way worse than what they're expecting. So who is it going to be? And then you're basically saying like, well, the Pelicans are never healthy, so I'll just pencil them in as just being injured. But hey, there is a world where they're healthy and pretty good. Dude, the Nets are so bad. Mavs could go 32-50 or 16-22. I think the regular season ceiling is probably like 52 wins, maybe. Mavs 9 seed losing the play-in, land AJ DiMattenza to complete the Luka trade. I'm going to tell you right now, if the Mavericks don't make the playoffs and win the lottery, successful season in my opinion. If the Mavericks miss the playoffs and are the 9th seed, not a successful, or the 9th pick, not a successful season. Raptors hard to predict. Well, I think the Raptors should at least be a playing team. I mean, if they're not a playing team, what the fuck are they doing? I'll give them a pass for last year. This one has the Spurs as an 11 seed. I'm really trying my best to not have the Spurs. Or I'm really trying my best to convince myself the Spurs won't make the play-in tournament, because all rough drafts of my predictions, the Spurs are in the play-in tournament. Bare minimum. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Hawks have the Pelicans unprotected first next year. Holy shit. Oh, and their win total is 30. Wow, that's so low. That's so low. The baffling Kings will not make the postseason. No, I have the Kings out. I'm sorry. I think the Kings are I think the Kings... Yeah, I'm bad about AJ's pronunciation. I'll get there once he's in the league, inevitably. DiBatanza, is that not how you pronounce it? I think the Kings will try to blow it up, would be my guess. Like if Kuminga's on the Sacramento Kings by the end of the season, would we be that surprised? No. Sabonis is on the Chicago Bulls. Would we be that shocked? Not really. Right up their alley. Dumbass team. Debansa, AJ Debansa. I really don't do high school basketball at all. Debonza, nice. I'm getting multiple different pronunciations in the chat too, so that's good. Debanta, that's great. I mean, we're just fucking. Anyone else? Anyone else? Kings Bulls swap rosters again. Fuck it, let's hoop. I love I kind of like the idea of the Kings or the Bulls being like, you know what? It didn't work out for the Kings, but in the Eastern Conference, it could work out. Debonza. Whatever you guys say. Dude, I'm so excited. I cannot believe the NBA is here, man. I'm getting giddy. I'm getting Josh giddy. All right, what next? What next? LeBron. 8 months for Aaron. Do you think Giannis asked out if Milwaukee starts bad? Let's start with the Giannis situation. So I've kind of made fun of Shams, and I do think when Shams was hyping up this offseason, saying it's going to be one of the craziest offseasons ever, I think what he was insinuating was Giannis is probably going to demand a trade. Now, I've gone back and forth on whether I think he was just kind of doing that, like as just, hey, I'm kind of assuming Giannis is going to ask out, let me hype up some interest, or whether or not he had some intel that was like, hey, this is probably it for Giannis in Milwaukee. Like, get ready for that. And then it just didn't really pan out. Now, I'll say this about Shams, and this happens all the time. Shams will drop something. I remember this happening with Heat fans. Shams will drop something like, hey, so-and-so is not happy here. So, hey, there's some kind of like time could be running out here on this guy's tenure with the team. And then fans of that team immediately are always like, you're a fucking idiot. Fuck you. That's not true. You're lying. Well, the reality is like, you know, is Shams overpaid? Probably. Do we really need to pay people, you know, millions upon millions of dollars to get a scoop a few minutes in advance of everyone else? Probably not. But he does have connections and he does hear things. Right? The only time that I've been so incredibly, my alarm bells rung with Shams was the draft a few years ago when he out of nowhere said that, oh, actually, the Magic are considering Jabari Smith Jr. number 1 overall. Out of nowhere. That was the only time where I was like, that's a little sketchy. Now, in this reporting, the stuff that really sticks out to me, and I'm thinking it's this in this article, but it might be somewhere else I watched or listened to or read. I went through all of the different types of consuming mediums there before I got to the actual one. Was talking about what Giannis's agency themselves were thinking. And I don't know if it was this article I read. This was enough for me to be like, oh, okay. There is something here. Now, I'll start by saying this. If I were a Bucks fan, straight up, I'd be annoyed at Giannis at this point. It's like, dude, we've done this runaround every single year. We can pretend as if it's always been media narratives and media driven. And a lot of times it has been. Right? Like, hey, wouldn't it be kind of fun if Giannis got traded? Like, can you imagine? Like, he plays in Milwaukee. Like, at some point, Giannis is going to want out. But he's put pressure on the team. We've seen that. He put pressure on them. They went out and got Eric Bledsoe. Didn't work out. He put pressure on him. Contract is coming up soon. They went out and got Drew Holiday and won a championship. He put pressure on him again. They went out and got Damian Lillard. Didn't work out, obviously. Now they're really fucking stuck. Now they're absolutely stuck. So do I believe that Giannis is maybe having these conversations? Absolutely, I believe that. Absolutely. And he's entering this stage now where he's got 2 years left on his deal. And now we're entering that uncomfortable stage of free agency isn't what it used to be. So if I'm Giannis, and I do kind of think my time in Milwaukee might be coming to a conclusion, and I don't think I have a chance to win here anymore. I might want to get traded to a place that can give me whatever the max deal is that I can get. You know, if I'm Giannis, if I'm the Bucks, hey, I kind of want to know. Are you planning on leaving here? Because if so, I want to get a return on you. You know, like we got to set ourselves up. We've gutted our team and we've gutted our future to get you these guys and to help you out and get these guys. And it didn't work out. It worked out with Drew. Obviously, you won a championship immediately. But you didn't work out. It didn't work out with Dame. And now you've gutted your fucking team. Okay? Now you've gutted your team. And like, look, I just pulled up the Bucks subreddit. Look at this. Fuck Shams. Scams with the shenanigans. Chams is such a loser. Oh, I've seen this story a million times. He's getting traded, guys. Once we get to this, he's getting traded. Yeah. I've seen this one too many times. It's over. It's fucking over. It's done. And I agree. The whole thing with like the Bucks, was it the Bucks owner saying that he had to sit down with Giannis and things went well, and then Giannis coming out and be like, I don't remember that. That is, that's weird. Like that's certainly a little strange. And look, this comment is 100% right. The reporting from yesterday is that the Knicks and the Bucks had a multi-week negotiating window where they discussed a trade. I mean, do we think he's just straight up lying? Like I guess that's the question you have to ask. Do you think that Shams is just straight up lying about that? He just made it up. It's not true. I made it up. Completely fiction. I completely made it up. Because that's the only way this isn't insanely interesting. Because if he's right and he didn't lie and this is true, then yeah, this is like they discussed a Giannis trade. Now, does that mean? Now, here's what I'm going to insinuate from this. I'm just going to assume Shams is right because I think he probably is here. I don't think he just fucking said this to say it. I think he probably knows that this is true and he heard it and he's relaying this information. Okay. So what do I think this means? I'm just going to insinuate here what I actually think this means. I think it probably means Giannis told them, like, hey, yeah, I'm thinking about maybe leaving. Hey, I'd love to go to the Knicks. If you do trade me, I would love to go to New York. And if you don't trade me right now, it's fine. Like, we can work this stuff out. But like, if you do end up trading me, I'd love to go to New York City. I'd love to play for the Knicks. Which is why you had an exclusive multi-week negotiating window, which is being reported. Maybe they didn't, the Bucks and Knicks couldn't agree on anything, so that was the end of that. But the Bucks never entertained anybody else. So I'm reading this, and I'm just going to say it. I'm reading this as like a silent trade demand is what I'm reading this as. And this all leaking out right now, and I cannot, it might be somewhere in this article, but there is direct stuff talking about Giannis's agency in some of this reporting, which, hey, I'm reading into it. I'm reading the tea leaves. I'm following the breadcrumbs that are being left here. This to me, okay, is this it? Ever since the NBA draft combine in mid-May, Alex Sarastis, an Octagon managing director and Antetokounmpo's U.S.-based representative, has fielded rampant interest in Antetokounmpo and conducted serious due diligence on the best possible outside fits should the star and his reps push to be traded from the Bucks. Yo, I read this as a soft launch of a trade request. That is everything I read this as. This is a soft launch of a trade request. We've seen this happen before. That's what this reads as. Hey, we've kind of had some discussions. There was a little window where maybe the Knicks were involved. You don't do any of this if there's not like saying, yeah, I would like to be traded to the Knicks. It's over. From that point on, it's pretty much done. Now, we've seen like guys demand trades and then it get walked back and then they stay. Infamously, it happened with Kobe Bryant. But the reason that gets talked about all the time because that's kind of like a one-off thing. You know? It's kind of like a one-off thing. So I guess my... And interestingly enough, I mean, there was also reporting on whether like Giannis moving his family to Athens. I don't really give a shit about any of that, honestly. But Giannis did make a public statement basically saying, yo, chill out talking about my family, wherever they go to school. It shouldn't be a public thing. I don't know what he's saying. Stop lying and endangering my family. I don't know what he's referring to there. Publicity is a result of my choices, not my children's. Every child has the right to... So he's basically saying, like, leave my children the fuck out of this. Which is totally fair. Do not upload my kids on any platform again. It is enough. Totally fair. Totally fair. No pushing back on any of this stuff. No pushing back on any of this stuff. So either one of two things are happening here. Shams is blatantly lying, which would be insane in and of itself. Or two, like I love this. This is a non-story. A phone call happened and there's not details about the phone call. Giannis obviously weighed his options, but Shams is a clickbait loser. Yeah, a multi-week, what's being reported as a multi-week negotiating window is not a phone call. Like, that's not a phone call, man. That's not. That's a little bit more intense. If the reporting was like, hey, the Knicks called the Bucks and there was like a little conversation and then that was it. All right, that's a completely different thing. It's like, okay, the Knicks called the Bucks. Like, all right, I imagine so. So now I got to ask this question because remember it was kind of being reported that the Mavericks asked another team about a superstar swap before they traded Luka to the Lakers. The reporting on that has always been wonky. I don't know if we've ever gotten anything concrete about what that meant. Some random with the two. I'm on. There's not smoke without fireside. Yeah, I'm with you 100% there. Once Jimmy's agent went off on Shams just for him to get traded anyway, started to believe, bro. Yeah, that shit was always a clown show. Engaged in talks for a window of time. Hey, Giannis, you want to come to New York? No, I'm good. Understandable. Have a good day. Oh, man. I actually kind of... That one actually makes me sad. I'm sorry, if you read this whole report here in the mentions of Giannis's representation, fielding interest, and doing due diligence on best possible fits, outside fits, should the star and his reps push to be traded. If you read this and don't automatically jump to the assumption that there's just blatant lying, I'm sorry, bro. This is like a soft launch. The same way I 100% believe the LeBron stuff earlier this summer was a soft launch. That soft launch being like, hey, I'm probably not going to finish my career in LA. Like I'll play out this year. Do I think that if like a LeBron trade were actually feasible this summer, would LeBron have got traded? Very possibly. Giannis is a future Maverick. This is so interesting. Because it's always different. Like, hey, I could be a free agent soon. I want to win. There's a difference between that and what this feels like. And maybe this is me as a sometimes things happens FC supporter, right? I know, I'm nothing ever happens FC supporter. I am firmly in sometimes things happen FC. So maybe that's just kind of a coping mechanism for me from that perspective of like, sometimes I want things to happen. Yeah, and then I cannot recall that meeting. It's just a weird statement. Now, here's some, like, the New York, for its part, believes the Bucks were never serious about entertaining an Antetokounmpo trade. So there's that. It's not like this stuff got close. LeBron has a no trade clause this year, so it would be hard for the Lakers to have traded him before the season. I mean, you're not going to trade LeBron without him going where he wants to go. It's fucking LeBron James. How many Mavs are untouchable in a Giannis trade? Flag. That's it. I will say I wouldn't want to trade Lively, but am I really going to be one of those guys? Am I really going to be one of those guys? Flag, though, I wouldn't do it. Which then means I don't think it'd be there for the Mavs. Unless there's like a multi-team framework where it's like AD goes somewhere else. The Mavs are trading AD plus picks to the Bucks, and then the Bucks are flipping AD to somewhere else for picks. So they're just getting a fuck ton of picks. Because that's how any Giannis trade would play out, right? If Giannis does get traded to the Knicks, and it's like Mikal or Cat and whatever else, those guys are getting rerouted. This happening still 2 years from Giannis' end of contract tells me it's another attempt to put pressure on the franchise. So where I'm a little bit confused by all of this is I think I would agree with you there. The thing is though, they're out of options. It's done. They don't have the ammo anymore for anything. Okay. They just had to wave and stretch Dame to essentially pay Miles Turner $50 million a year, because you're paying Miles Turner $20 million or whatever it is, 25. Is he making $30 million a year? And you've got now $20+ million a year going to Damian Lillard, his wave and stretch contract. Desperate move. Now, at the time, I think myself and everyone else was just like, yo, you got to do that, though, if you're the Bucks. Keep Giannis happy. Giannis probably wanted it to happen. So this all happening still is a little bizarre to me. Right? Because they did do stuff this summer, and there's nothing else they can do. They're done. They don't have a lot of picks. They don't have they traded their only somewhat interesting young guy in AJ Johnson for Kyle Kuzma. Giannis didn't go to media day because he had COVID. Okay, hey, that's fine. Well, hey, I'm perking up a little bit more at that now. He saw Kuzma in camp. Remember how bad this team was? He got into training camp, saw Kyle Kuzma, and was like, yeah, go ahead and leak the story. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Oh, man. Giannis is going to leave Milwaukee in a tough spot to rebuild and leave anyways. Yeah, man. It's starting to become harder and harder to believe Giannis. Fun fact, if you live in Texas and don't have any DUIs, you're probably overpaying for car insurance by as much as $1,000 a year. Shit. I'm a longtime Redditor. Oh, keep scrolling then. What a horrible advertisement. I'm a longtime Redditor. All right, well, keep scrolling. I don't want to read your ad anymore. That actually makes you less of an authoritative figure in my mind. Like when you do advertisements, guys, you want to come off as kind of like an authority figure. If your advertisement says, hey, I'm a lifelong Redditor, you immediately scrap it. Immediately scrap that ad. If you guys haven't liked the stream yet, make sure you do so. 250 of you in here, 60 likes. I mean, that's not good, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Hey, Redditor here. All right, exit. Oh, man. So interested by this. So mystified. Before Tyrese Halliburton's Achilles injury, some executives wondered whether the Pacers would eventually emerge as a dark horse trade contender for Giannis. Indiana owed all of their future picks, plus a strong young core, for an appealing trade structure. That would be sick. He loves New York, doesn't he? Isn't that his thing? So if you're the Bucks, do you do right by him? It's like, all right, we'll trade you there. Or do you just say, fuck you, we're trading you wherever they give me the most? Despite owning a boatload of picks over the next few years, the Thunder have zero interest in Giannis Antetokounmpo. Zero? Really? Zero? With the current CBA, might have to be the latter. There's an expectation that Giannis Antetokounmpo will eventually leave the Bucks. There's been an expectation for quite some time that Giannis' days in Milwaukee's one way or another are numbered. Whether that was going to happen this year, whether it's going to happen potentially during the season, or whether it could happen next summer. They say this. They do say this every year, though. Like, all right, so if this was just all we got, I'd say, all right, you guys say this every fucking year. Paul at the $2. Big names who asked for New York City end up regretting it. Has there been like a big, obviously Jalen Brunson, but before that, like Melo was the last time there was a guy who's like, I want to go play in New York City. Well, I guess, you know, the Brooklyn guys. See, if this is all we got, I'd be like, dude, they say this all the time. Like they really have. They've said this multiple times. But when you just like read into this article, in a telling exchange, Bucks managing governor Wes Edens said at Media Day that he had a conversation with Antetokounmpo in June when the Bucks star expressed his commitment to Milwaukee. An hour later, Antetokounmpo said, I cannot recall that meeting. The last 3 years, we've been eliminated in the first round, so it's not much to talk about, he added. We just got to put our heads down and stay locked in the whole year and try to win some games and hopefully get in the playoffs and then don't get eliminated in the first round. That's pretty much it, and then we go from there. Yeah, that ain't good. I'm sorry. If somebody on the Mavs said that, I'd be concerned. I'm just being honest with you. Fast forward 6 or 7 years, if Cooper Flag is saying stuff like this, I will be concerned. Okay? I'll be concerned. Sorry. Then last Saturday, after traveling from Greece to join the Bucks in Miami, Antetokounmpo said, I just want more. I want to win another championship. I want to win another medal for the national team. Legacy is very important to me. You got to play to win. I don't play to be around and get paid. I like that. I love that. I do love that. I love that that's seriously the way. And you just watch Giannis play. He plays like a fucking maniac. Ozzy with the 199. Giannis to the Lakers for Rui Hachimura in the first. See, like, and the funny thing is I want to shit on Lakers fans because they'll come out and they'll be like, yeah, I saw Lakers fans yesterday be like, well, this has been Rob's plan. It's like, no, Rob has no clue what on God's green earth he's doing. So I want you guys to know that. Rob Pelinka has no idea what he's doing. If the Los Angeles Lakers were located in Milwaukee with the same exact front office that they have now, they'd win 15 games a fucking year. They're dreadful. They're absolutely awful. They're horrendous at their jobs. They're terrible. Okay? Fortunately for them, they're located in Los Angeles. Unfortunately for them, for whatever reason, things get handed to them on a silver platter. Okay? So that's the thing with Rob Pelinka, who's absolute dog shit and horrible at his job. Like, seriously, genuinely fucking terrible. Right? So anyways, I want to make fun of Lakers fans. Like, this has been the plan all along. You know, sign and trade Austin Reeves. Oh, that's good. I'm sure the Bucks would love that. Sign and trade Austin Reeves in order to make the contracts work, obviously. Sign and trade Austin Reeves at $40 million a year. And then what, 2 picks? Yeah, that's great. I'm sure the Bucks are fucking can't wait for that trade to come through. But you know what? As much as I want to shit on them, maybe they're right. I don't know. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're correct. Maybe they're right. I don't know. Could be. So anyways, again, if it was just the Wendy quote where it's like, hey, yo, there's some people who think Giannis might want out, I would genuinely just be like, who cares? Who cares? They say this every year. Seriously, who gives a shit? But reading into this article, I can't help but feel like this one is much different. Much different. Much different. And then I will ask the question. If it ends up being the case that some people speculated that the Mavericks called to the Bucks about maybe a Luka Giannis swap and the Bucks said no, can you imagine Luka in Milwaukee? Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Oh. Hey, Luka would have been by far the best player in the Eastern Conference, though, by like a million miles. So you'd have that going for him. Why are the gorillas trending? Oh, new song. I can't imagine Luka in Milwaukee either. That feels disgusting. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think he looks dreadful in the Lakers colors. Not saying it in a mean way. I just don't think. It does not work. And maybe I'm being salty. But I feel as though him in Lakers colors still just feels gross. And I do think part of it is, it's kind of a natural thing. Is like yellow is not a super flattering. I don't think yellow is a flattering color in general, but yellow is really not a flattering color for white guys. Yvonne with the $5. You think the Lakers call for Giannis offering LeBron, and when they get to the meeting, it's Junior? Oh, you guys say no? Yeah, we meant Bronny. Jenkins Shank, 5 months. Giannis for the entire Nets roster is a good deal. Yo, I don't even think I'd say yes to that if I were the Nets or the Bucks. When do the playoffs games start today? There's 4 of them, right? I love that. Fucking love that. Any other news? Delta Connect is now viewed as a negative asset around the league, and the Lakers would most likely need to attach another asset to move them. Really? On a rookie deal? I have a hard time believing that. Connect was good for us in 2K25. That's true. Kevin Durant said to be dope to see Russell Westbrook sign with the Rockets. I'm sure the Rockets love KD saying that publicly. All right, let's talk about the LeBron ad. All right. So I've seen people very upset about LeBron and his decision part 2. Look, if you thought this was anything other than that, you're a fool. If you thought LeBron was seriously about to announce his retirement in that way, you're a fool. Now, I will say this, though. I do feel like it was a waste of actually a pretty good way to announce your retirement. Doing it as a play on the decision. One of the most insane things we've seen in sports. Right? Stephen A. Smith calls out LeBron for his ad. If you play a garbage at any point in time when it really counts, I'm going to think that Hennessy commercial and wonder if you were drinking something before the game. Oh man, that's why they pay him $155 trillion a year. So I never even watched this. What was
Everyone's on pins and needles across the country. You ready to go, LeBron? Where's the powder?
Left it at home.
LeBron, fans want to know where you're taking your talents this year. What's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is tough. In this fall, I'm gonna be taking my talents to Hennessy VSOP.
VSOP? And this was the conclusion you woke up with this morning?
That was the conclusion I woke up with this morning.
Doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense as an ad. Honestly, it's just a bad ad. It would have made more sense if it, I saw somebody say it could be Chipotle. That would have been good, right? My decision, I'm going with steak today. That would have been good. That at least would have made some sense. What was the decision here? Was it between two different types of Hennessy? I don't understand. He does look old. Yeah, it's when Snoop Dogg did the smokeless thing for a smokeless grill, that's clever. That was legitimately clever. Now I remember at the time being like, yo, really? I don't give a fuck. People are like, dude, Snoop Dogg's not going to smoke weed anymore. I remember being like, okay. Isn't he 70 years old? Cool. I don't know. Didn't know what to do with that info, really. Couldn't care less one way or the other. Why is LeBron wearing a picnic tablecloth?
Why?
I feel like it's gonna give me the best opportunity to win more at hosting. And not only that, win at signature cocktails.
I got that LeBron in me. Tonight we're drinking LeBron. Tonight I got that LeBron juice. LeBron team does not have his best interest in mind. This was a bad commercial. All right, so I want to talk about. I'm like this was always going to be an ad. I never at any point thought LeBron was actually going to be announcing his retirement. Just never thought that. Now I will say, I've seen people be really upset by this. I've seen this common refrain, and it's from real Lakers fans. I wouldn't say this is all Lakers fans, but look at this. There's a 52% chance LeBron announces retirement from the league tomorrow. Play Profit X. All right, play Profit X. You're fucking dumb. You're stupid. You're dumb. 52% chance. It was more like 1. I would have maybe given it a 1% chance. Okay? 1%. Oh, and then this was hilarious too. Ticket prices for the Lakers' final regular season home game have absolutely skyrocketed. The cheapest seat is now going for $445. Oh man, Utah Jazz too. It's not even like they're playing a good team. So you're going to be seeing fucking Keontae George. Maybe not. Maybe Keontae George is done by that point. Who's even some dog shitters on their team? Johnny Juzang, is he still there? Cody Williams and Johnny Juzang versus Dalton Connect and a Dude Hero. Wow. What a battle of the Giants that you just paid $500 because now those tickets are probably going to be $60. Now they're going to be cheaper. If I had tickets, I would have resold them and bought them back. Art of the deal. Art of the deal, baby. Kobe's last game is against the Jazz too. So, okay. I do think that LeBron will want a retirement tour. It's LeBron James, right? Of course he's going to want a retirement tour. But there is a small portion of me that thinks that he might just retire in the offseason. Maybe not this offseason, but I don't know why I get that feeling. LeBron could retire in the offseason, announce it then, and then, sort of use that as a jump off point to launch whatever basketball league it is he's working on. I feel like that feels like a LeBron thing to me. Like, hey, that was it. I'm done. Like, oh shit. It's like, but I'm going to be playing next year in Saudi Arabia. When was the last big retirement tour? It's actually a good question. It's actually a really good question. No, Dirk had a retirement tour, kind of. Yeah, there's been some in baseball. Miggy had one. Pujols did, didn't he? The failed Paul Pierce tour. Nothing ever really competes with Kobe's. Paul at the $10. Basically, I've been touching grass. What did I miss? Honestly, nothing really. Welcome back, though, Paul. The time for touching grass is over. Now we're touching basketball courts. Oh yeah, Vince Carter kind of had a quasi one. No tour, just retire, go to Saudi, and then come back when it fails after 2 more years. He tours. I think when LeBron retires, that'll be it. And then knowing LeBron, I think he'll probably tease that, hey, I'm staying in great shape. I think I could definitely see LeBron come out of retirement, actually. I think I 100% could see that now that I'm thinking about it. But anyways, I've seen like Lakers fans who are like, I cannot wait for LeBron to retire. Why is that? This guy is still like a top 15-ish player in the world. You want him just to leave? Why? Now, again, I really want to make fun of him. I really, really do. I want to say, why the fuck would you want him to leave? And just lose a top 15 player on your team where you desperately need that guy, who's actually still hilariously the best athlete on your team by a lot, and your team has no athleticism. But then I think to myself, oh yeah, that's right. They get whatever they want, and it doesn't really matter. Throw out any conventional logic, everything falls into their lap all the time. And it's like, oh, okay, that's right. That's fair. It's because Lakers fans don't like he's holding them hostage with $53 million and want to start building around Luka. Yeah, but like you're going to have to pay Reeves a bunch of money. You're already paying Luka a bunch of money. All right, let's say Ayton's good this season. What are you going to do with him? Are you going to bring him back or no? Because if, let's just say, Ayton's as good as Lakers fans maybe think he'll be, I mean, you're going to have to pay him. Ayton's not taking $8 million again. Right? What does Ayton get if he's good this year? 20 plus? 30? Ayton being good as a stretch? All right, well then you need to find a center again. And now LeBron's gone. So now you're really banking on Reeves being good. Because now you also need to go out and find like another legitimate number 2. They just assumed he's going to be replaced with Jokic or Giannis the rest of the year or something. That's exactly what they assume. 100%. And they might be right. They might be right. 20 plus million for Ayton, 40 million for Reeves. So where does that put them cap-wise? That's why I'm like, I don't really get it. I don't think Reeves is going to get 40. But I don't think he's going to get 40. 30, 100%. If he doesn't get 30, something I think's gone wrong this year. For him, for sure. But they need him to be good. He's getting traded. For who, though? And then what are you going to do? You think Markkanen will be traded this season? Man, who the fuck knows? I don't think the Lakers are in a great spot. But again, it'll just fall into their lap. It'll just fall directly into their lap. Because it always fucking does. Think about that. It always does. Think about that. Remember Markkanen for Kleber rumors? Yes. My dumbass didn't want him. My dumbass didn't want to do that. And I've learned from that, actually. Never hold your own players too tightly. Jamal Mosley's the favorite to win Coach of the Year. Interesting, it's all Eastern Conference teams at the top. Huh. I mean, those aren't big odds. Those are still plus 650, still pretty big. Next year's season from hell candidates for East and West. West, the entire conference, besides probably the Thunder. I'll actually even keep the Nuggets in there. Is a potential. I don't think it'd happen, but a potential. Like, ooh, Jamal got hurt. Uh-oh. Everyone else? Yeah. Rockets have already lost Fred VanVleet. I think they're deep enough and good enough that I think they'll be fine. But yeah, that's really it, Javi. If you miss a starter for 2 months in the West, you're pretty much fucked. I genuinely think every team in the West has a very, very achievable low floor. Or maybe not low floor, but a very realistic, like, oh man, and this guy missed 3 weeks, and then this guy missed 5 weeks, and now we're in the 9 seed. And then now all of a sudden, we're at the trade deadline wondering what the fuck we do. And now all of a sudden it's March and we're the 10 seed now. Like, dude, do we shut this down? Do we even want to be the 10 seed? You think a J Kid don't get that extension, we're losing him to the Knicks? Let me be careful with my words here. That was a real thing. That was a very real thing. And there's maybe some stuff going on that I don't know how confident I'd be saying Kid will be here next year. I'm not sure how confident I would say I am. And it's for a bunch of different reasons. And I hope he signs an extension, though. I hope he signs an extension. I like him here. Why don't you hire Jason Adult? It's a great question. I've often wondered that myself, actually. So you're saying Kid didn't enjoy the Visionaries' plan? No, that's not what I'm saying, really. Kid's, believe it or not, a very highly sought after guy. Kid is a very highly sought after guy. The Knicks wanted him badly. if Kidd were to be not on the Mavericks next year, another team would gladly hire him in a second. Sally just want to say Kidd is leaving because he knows that spot is his once he's gone. I sent in the 2K video. I sent it in. We'll see if they watched it. We'll see if he watches it. Paul at the 5. Kidd shouldn't have been hired. I believed it then and still believe it now. He's a liar and a tool at the podium. Another team can have him. I think Kidd's done well here. He's done the thing that I think is the most important thing for a coach in this, modern NBA, which is he does a good job fostering and maintaining relationships. Players like him. They play hard for him. That's really 80% of the battle, honestly. So that's kind of where I'm at with them. We've seen Kyrie and D'Lo both talk about how much they respect Kidd as soon as they arrived. He does have some recruit power. Feels like, oh yeah, dude, everyone loves him across the league. Yeah, 4 years for a coach is not half bad. I do. It's weird he's not extended. It is weird. He should have been fired just for his Doncic tank press response that cost the team $1 million in fines. What did he say again? I thought that was Cuban that got... Oh, yeah, that was him, wasn't it? Daryl Morey is a liar. I repeat. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I'll never play on any team he's associated with again. I feel like that's one of the funniest things that's happened. I'm sorry. A league superstar being in China doing a press conference where probably nobody there even knows what he's saying. And doing that is just so funny. I repeat, I will not, let me make myself clear. Daryl Morey is a liar. And everyone in the crowd just like, the fuck's going on? I gotta pull that video up. That is an all-timer. That is an all-time classic. Daryl Morey is a liar. Where's the audio?
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of.
Let me say that again. No. I thought that was Chris Middleton for a second. I don't know why. No.
And I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of again. Thank you, man.
Oh, man. Let me say that again. I love the kind of nervous sort of swaying prepared statement. Everyone in the crowd, woo! Oh man. Let me say that again. This is like such a forgotten about saga. Is it not? This was a crazy time. This was just like that whole Brooklyn Nets era was insane. And then like the 3-year fallout that ensued. Something right with the 5. I'm not high on Kidd. I believe he's a play hard merchant and tactically out of depth, but I also believe coaching talent in the league is quite low. Yeah, I mean, I just think that there's only maybe a handful of guys that are like so good with X's and O's that it really shifts things. But it really kind of depends on your staff. And I don't think there's that many guys in the league who impact the game on a game-to-game basis as much as people think. Is this the same time he was in a fat suit? No. This was him wanting out of Philadelphia. Him wanting out of Houston was the fat suit. Think about how insane that Brooklyn era was. KD and Kyrie get there. They had one good year, and then immediately for the next 2 years, they were mad and constantly demanding trades, constantly. I don't hate Kidd. I'll have to watch his inbound plays. They've been one of the best inbound out of timeout plays teams in the league for a while. The end of game stuff, I agree with you. What was crazier, Harden's rant on Morey or Damaris' rant on Harden? Oh, this was definitely crazier. Only because Damaris is an analyst guy, so it makes sense for him to say something like that, even though it was pretty aggressive. This is just hilarious. I mean, I'd have to go back and look at the exact context of all this, but doing this in China, hey guys, I'm here. I gotta say something real quick though. Not an Instagram video, nothing. I have to say this at my camp in China. No one's gonna know what I'm saying here. Oh, click on the Swift album review video. I have YouTube Premium.
Anthony Mitano here, the internet's busiest.
What do you give it? I haven't watched a Fantano video in so long. 4? That actually feels high. It kind of bit Damaris back like it did Cuban with his amnesty quote on Kobe. I've actually talked to Damaris about that, and he said that people were not happy with him. People in the organization were not happy with him. I said, that shit was still funny as hell, though. And low-key right. That's why I defended Kyrie at the time, because I was let me get this right. Everyone's blaming everything that happened in Brooklyn on Kyrie. We've had 3 guys demand trades, 3 high-level stars demand trades in the span of 4 months, and everything's one guy's fault. How does that make any sense in the world? How does that make any sense? I'm not saying everything was perfect, and he was an angel or anything like that. Oh, 5 players most likely to demand trades. 5 players most likely to demand a trade during the 25-26 season. Ooh. Let me predict their list. Giannis, LeBron. Giannis, LeBron. Would they do Larry? Would that be somebody they include in this? Kind of think. Trae Young. Yeah, Trae Young. For sure, Trae. Let's just see. It'd be funny if they did KD. That'd be a funny bit. Always have KD in these. Giannis, LeBron, Kuminga. It's a little boring. Sabonis, Zion. Could Kuminga isn't Kuminga sort of still in the middle of a trade demand, an ongoing trade demand? I could see Sabonis. Sabonis has had some really interesting quotes, and it feels like the nicest way Sabonis can possibly yeah, I wouldn't mind getting traded. Anytime someone's like, yeah, a lot of things have changed here, never a good sign. Has Zion ever like really even indicated that he would demand a trade? I'm a little bit surprised Trey's not on this. Dude, it'd be hilarious if KD was on this. They should have done that. They should have done that. One ambitious trade target for every team during the 25-26 season. Ambitious. I like the sounds of it. One ambitious trade target for every team. Atlanta Hawks, Jaylen Brown. Holy shit. Okay. Right off the rip, they are being ambitious. That would be quite interesting. Aren't there links? Is Jaylen Brown from Atlanta? Or from Georgia? Or is he from California? I know he went to California for school. The state of California. Or did he go to Cal? I don't remember. But wasn't there something? Didn't he like didn't he talk about this? About maybe wanting to play in Atlanta? Anyways, that'd be actually kind of interesting. I don't think the Celtics are going to trade Jaylen Brown. That'd be really surprising. But he's from Marietta and Metro Atlanta. All right, well, there you go. Huh. I guess I've never really given Jaylen Brown and the Hawks too much thought, but that is actually quite the interesting fit. Now, I don't know how on earth the trade would happen, right? Like, wouldn't you almost have to include Jalen Johnson? And I wouldn't do that if I were the Hawks. Like, straight up, I would not do that. So, could they get there contractually without Jalen Johnson? If so, okay, kind of interesting. If not, I'm not even interested in entertaining that. Boston Celtics, Walker Kessler. I actually like that, and I kind of toyed with the idea of maybe a Walker Kessler to Boston trade in the offseason. But that could be an interesting one. Fill that front court hole you desperately need to fill now. Because even if you're going to write this season off as like a waste year for the Celtics or just a retooling year, they still need to figure out who their center is going to be going into next season. I don't know what a Kessler trade would look like. You know, it's just so interesting to me because he's contract eligible, extension eligible. How much do you pay him? Is he one of those guys where teams across the league are like, dude, I don't know how much I feel comfortable paying a guy like that. Brooklyn Nets, Jabari Smith Jr. What would that trade even look like from Houston's perspective? I mean, okay. Sure, I guess. I was trying to think of a better name for Brooklyn, but given their circumstance, I don't really know. What about like a Kuminga? I mean, I don't love it at all. I don't love paying Kuminga a lot of money at all. But what about like hey, we're this young team that just needs talent anyways. Like, we'll do Kuminga. Charlotte Hornets, Jared Allen, that'd be so fucked up. That'd be so fucked up on Cleveland's part. Charlotte Hornets and Boston Celtics have the worst in rotations in all of basketball. That it does make sense from the Hornets' perspective, though. But how sad would that be? I could see them trading Jared Allen in the offseason next year. Probably not during the season. Chicago Bulls, Nick Claxton. That's sad, actually. That is kind of sad. But hey, like a legit pick and roll guy next to Giddey is interesting. And I do feel like Claxton's better than people give him credit for. He just hasn't played with like an actual point guard in years now. Poor guy. Cavaliers, Corey Kispert. That's the most ambitious one we can think of. Okay. Sure. I guess they're factoring in like the Cavs don't have really any tradable things. Really high on Clax, just low on Diffie. In my opinion, Kobe White better. I bet the Lakers one's Lively or Gafford. No, Lakers will be a little bit more high profile, I bet. Mavericks, LeBron James. All right. Come on, LeBron. Put your Maverick jersey on. The Dallas Mavericks could cobble together the salaries of Klay Thompson, Daniel Gafford, Caleb Martin, and Najee Marshall. And then what? Like the Lakers would have to release like 8 guys from their team? I mean, it would be hilarious. It really would be. I don't know. I don't want to do that at all. I just don't. I'd rather keep Gaff and Clay. And if I'm gonna trade these guys, like I could trade Gafford for a pick for sure. And now I'm kind of restocking my assets. Dude, I honestly think if you're having a bad season, you want to trade Clay. Like Clay's shooting is still valuable enough that somebody will give you something. I don't know how valuable that thing will be. But I mean, that would be something else, huh? That would be something else. Denver Nuggets go and get Scottie Pippen Jr. Yeah, who is currently? Do we have DQ in here? Who is currently slotted to be like the backup point guard for Denver? Is it going to be like kind of a mixture of guys? Is Strother going to get some moments? Pickett? Like who's it going to be? Bruce Brown? I forgot about that. Scottie Pippen Jr. would actually be a pretty nice get. $2.2 million salary. That's insane. Pistons get Lowry. This has been something that like Bill Simmons has tossed out. A perfect guy for Detroit. It is a little bit interesting. Like pairing Cade next to Lowry. Those two with a Sarr on the floor. You've got like good length and really good athleticism. I could see it. That would be nice. If he's not like super expensive, I think a team like Detroit going after him would be genius. Golden State Warriors, Giannis. Yeah. There's another reason why the Warriors don't want to give Jonathan Kuminga away for less than his full trade value. Like every other smart team, they're trying to maintain every asset they've got so they're ready once and if the Giannis Antetokounmpo market heats up. But why if I'm Milwaukee, my return for Giannis is Jonathan Kuminga, who, by the way, now I have to pay? I've never understood that about any Warriors. It's like, well, Kuminga, it's like, great. Now I trade for Jonathan Kuminga, and now I have to pay him $30 million. Yay. Like, you know what I mean? That's preposterous. Houston, Trae Young. I actually don't think Trae Young fits into what Houston has going on at all. And I like Trae Young. And you guys know that. I'm a defender of his. I think he gets slept on. I think he gets underrated. I think he gets overlooked, so on and so forth. I don't think he really fits what Houston has going on at all, though. But I do get the logic behind, like, we got to get somebody to replace Fred VanVleet. How would that even work, though? Oh, VanVleet, $25 million. Man, that's brutal. Indiana gets Bam. Oh, I've never really considered a potential Bam trade, but I feel like it could be on the table if the Heat are bad. Except the thing is, though, is like they think Bam is the centerpiece of their Heat culture shit. You know? But that would be quite interesting if Bam got traded somewhere. And I do like the idea of him in Indiana. Oof. That would be quite interesting. I kind of like the idea of Indiana being aggressive. Even if your season isn't going as well as you would hope. Clippers, Jonathan Kuminga, snooze fest. Oh, okay, it was Gafford. Lakers, Daniel Gafford. Ain't happening. Maybe could happen, actually. Oh, Trey Murphy is such a Grizzlies player, isn't he? Now that make a lot of sense. If how much where is Trey Murphy at in terms of his contract? Because if you thought Bane was too expensive and you didn't want to pay that, overrated, perfect for the Grizz. I mean, he's at $25 million a year. for the next 4 years. And then Bane was at what? Bane was way more than that. All right. I could see that. You're basically replacing Bane with Trey Murphy. Just $20 million cheaper. That'd be kind of interesting. Miami Heat Zion. I would like that quite a bit for them, actually. Assuming they don't trade Bam or Hero in that deal. I would actually like that quite a bit. If they just take a bet on them fixing Zion. That makes so much sense for Miami. Bucks, Kobe White. That would also be a really nice fit. How do they get there contractually, though? Kyle Kuzma? Tough luck. Timberwolves get there. I mean, how does the Timberwolves pull this off? Well, hold on a second. Is there any world? No. Well, no. 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 I'm trying to think. Think about this. The Cavs sputter out this year again inside. We need to rebuild. The Timberwolves offer you Julius Randle for contracts, obviously, and then whatever else and whatever picks for Garland. And you do it. And then you also trade Jared Allen somewhere else for picks. And then Mobley goes to the 5. So your team would be Mitchell, Randall, and Mobley. And then picks and stuff that you could use to retool your roster. That sounds like shit. Sounds like shit. Pelicans also go after Bam. I would hate that for my guy Bam Adebayo. I'd absolutely hate that. Knicks, Giannis, yeah. Thunder, Cam Thomas. I cannot think of someone who embodies the Thunder less than Cam Thomas. I can't think of anyone who is less of an Oklahoma City Thunder player than Cam Thomas. Am I wrong? I guess they do need like an offensive guy off the bench, especially with Topic out to start the season. But he just does not seem like a player that they'd be after. Orlando Magic, LaMelo Ball. No. Wouldn't that trade have to be Suggs, basically? No. That would be really hilarious, but no. He's not an Orlando Magic guy. Sixers, Dylan Brooks. That's a very sad state of affairs. That's your most ambitious trade target. Cat to the Suns. Remember when that was a thing? Didn't Dropping Dimes say that? Cat was going to Phoenix. I mean, if I'm trying to think if there's any pathways. I don't like Phoenix already tapping into their already super depleted assets to go out and get Cat at this point. LeBron was the Mavs one. Trailblazers, Franz Wagner. What would that look like? I would hate for Orlando to trade Franz. I can't think of a world where it would make sense to trade Franz. But he does kind of fit into what Portland's got going on, but he fits like a glove in what Orlando's got going on. Derek White on the Kings. That actually is a pretty good fit. I don't think the Kings would like be aggressive like that, but that is actually a really, really good fit. Exactly what the Kings need. Now, to be fair, every team would like a Derek White. Spurs, Jaden McDaniels. Oh, can you imagine? Ooh. Wemby and Jaden McDaniels. That's pretty fucking gnarly. I'd actually circle this one. That's actually pretty interesting. Not this like season, but maybe in the offseason. Toronto Raptors, Michael Porter Jr. This guy's trolling. This is a troll one. Oh, let's make that Raptors team even more hilarious. Utah Jazz 2026 lottery pick. There you go. That's nice. Wizards, Jonathan Kuminga. That's embarrassing. Oh, man. Your most ambitious trade target being Michael Porter Jr. is hilarious.
Only have 8 playoff series wins. I'm going to put that in perspective. He's only have 8 playoff series wins. I'm going to put that in perspective. LeBron has 41. He's 41 playoff series wins.
God damn, that doesn't even compute in my brain. 41?
Tim Duncan has 35. Kobe had 33. Shaq had 32. Durant, 22. Kawhi is 19. Jason Tatum is 15-7 in the playoffs. Jokic has 10. Giannis is 8-8. And I think he's just looking at this like, I'm just tired of, I just want to be in the playoffs. I just want to keep playing past, April 30th.
Damn, that's actually kind of crazy. He's only won 8 playoff series. Especially considering he's won a ring. How many has Luka won? Only 5. Yeah, but 8 in the East is a different thing.
And I think it's really starting to get to him. And he looks at Milwaukee and he looks at the landscape and he's like, now I'll be a year older a year from now. I've already done this the last 3 years. So I don't even think it's about chasing a ring for him as much as like just being in relevant basketball.
But to be fair, though, he's been hurt. He was hurt in 2 of the last 3 of them. Luka got 7 now. Does he? 7? 7 playoff series wins. Yeah, 5. Why is John Pork trending? I'm gonna actually be honest with you guys. I don't know what the fuck John Pork is. Should I click on this? Magomed Zaynukov asked fans to stop calling him John Pork. John Pork, bro. He doesn't look like John Pork. God, the internet is so dumb, man. What the fuck is John Pork? Who thought of John Pork? John Pork. Someone thought of that and concocted it in their brain. You think I'm old? Did I explain this to you? Did I tell you guys this? When we were at ACL over the weekend, I had to explain to one of my friends on the same age as, I had to explain to him what K-pop was. And I was thinking to myself, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. Didn't they find John Pork dead in Miami? Oh, John Pork is passed on. Oh. Rest in peace, John Pork. Mr. Pork, we'll always remember you. That's sad to hear. That really is. Great guy. Well, because there was a K-pop band on a stage at ACL. It was like the stage kind of like the food lines and stuff. When we were by it, my friend comes up and goes, so they sing in almost perfect English, but then they talk. And it's like they can barely speak English. I was like, yeah, it's like a K-pop thing. And he's like, what's K-pop? And I was like, Korean pop. And he's like, oh. And I was like, yeah. You have K-pop and J-pop. Both very big in the States right now. Mainly K-pop, due in large part to K-pop demon slayers. K-pop demon hunters. Which apparently all my teacher friends tell me that the kids this year for Halloween are K-pop demon hunters is number one for Halloween this year. K-pop demon hunters. They love it. So I guess K-pop's resonating with the younger crowd. You know a little too much about K-pop? I've said the bare minimum about K-pop. I couldn't name you a K-pop band besides BTS. Are they K-pop or J-pop? My little brother's addicted to Italian brain rot. Is that Tune Sahur? I had I was at an engagement party thing, some family a couple weeks ago, and some 5-year-old there was explaining to me Italian brain rot. I was just swimming out in water, but I got some in my left ear that's still there. So now I can only hear you in my right ear, but it's okay because everything you say is right anyways, King. That's true. Thank you, Simon. Hopefully you get the water out of your ear. Lisa from White Lotus. But is she K-pop? I don't know if you have it over in the US, but here in Europe, they like sell cards of Italian brain rot at little shops and shit. Oh, that's tourist trap shit. Tune Sahur. He was explaining it to me, and I was just like, dog, I have no clue what the fuck you're saying. No, the Elden Beast has been slain. Oh, see, this is why, like, preseason, yeah, I'll watch the Mavs, and I'll get delusional about them, so I can't make fun of any fan base for getting delusional about any preseason-related things, because that's how it happens. That's how it's supposed to be, right? So I can't, to each their own. I wouldn't dare make fun of anybody for this. There was like a fish with legs and a knife. I don't know. It was all getting very strange. The way it was being explained to me. A fish with legs that was holding a knife or something. I was like, all right, I don't understand this. All right, that's all I got today. Working on a video. Be live again. I'm going on Locked On tonight. I'm going to be on the newest State of the League podcast whenever that drops. So be on the lookout for that. Saw the free throw stream turning into lively threes. No. The free throw stream is going to happen. I'm trying to work out. You know, I have to like I can't just go to LA Fitness and do that. When are the daily streams coming? First week of the season. Next week's when we do all of our big predictions. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Why don't you go to your private gym? It's under construction. I'm putting in a brand new court, heated floors. with a hockey rink below them that I can change out, as well as a turf field below that I can also change out whenever I want, depending on what I need to do. That also has a trampoline floor underneath that in case I want to do any type of slam ball type of experience. So that's getting worked on. Do you have a paintball course? Just do the math on what that ended up turning into. Had to get rid of it. Simmons NBA over-under pod is probably the most anticipated pod of the year for me. I hope they switch House with Low this year. No, House is a mainstay there. House being on those is always the funniest to me. I'm assuming Ryan Russillo's not on that this year, right? Oh, that sucks. But it was always so funny to me when like House and Russillo, because House is like your friend, right? Where it's like, yeah, I follow sports. I don't like watch every game or anything, but like I follow them. And then it's hilarious to hear that contrast with like Russillo, who's like, I watch the most insane film you've ever seen. Like I'm hammering out Hornets preseason film. But I always felt there was a difference between like Zach Lowe and Russillo, because like Zach Lowe just seems like a nerd in every good sense of the word. It's like, dude, I just like basketball. I watch. I don't give a fuck. Like, so I like and I watch it. Like, it is what it is. Russillo's like, this is the most important thing that I'm going to be doing forever. So I have to reiterate how important it is that I'm watching this film. Where again, Zach Lowe's just like, oh yeah, well, yeah, sure. I don't care. Like, it's what I want to do today. Is watch that. And then House is just like, yeah, I saw that on Twitter. He'll like say the same thing Russillo said. It's just funny how they get to the same conclusion. Who's my favorite and least favorite Simmons guest? I hate any player interview ever. So anything like that. I don't really have a least favorite. They're all fine. I mean, Van Lathan's up there towards some of one of the better ones. I gotta say, I love when House goes on. I like when House and Cousin Sal are on because it has that like lifelong friend vibe that I like. You know, I like that vibe in a podcast. It's like we've been friends for a while. We're just shooting the shit. All right, cool. I like that. These streams pull a good amount of viewers, so I better see you motherfuckers in here and slightly is shooting 700 free throws. It's not 700, it's 530 something. And I'm planning to shoot around 95 to 96% on those. All right, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. All of the OGs, you guys know me very much. Could have spent your Wednesday anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys do not regret it. Donations, members, you guys never have to do that, but it helps me out tremendously. It makes me feel so good. We're getting so close to the season, folks. We'll stream on Friday. I don't know. We'll just shoot the shit. Mavs play again on Saturday. We'll stream there. I am going to experiment with some of the live streams for this preseason. Like, I might just do one on YouTube and not on playback because I am kind of toying with that idea. To be honest with you, I have to be real. I'll let you in on my thinking process. I am toying with that idea. So I ran with the 5. If Giannis was available for New York, then Bridges trade may come down as one of the worst ever. And the reason that this didn't happen. So I kind of go back and forth on that because while I do get what you're saying, I don't think it's that fair to the Knicks because it's not like they could just sit around and wait in their minds. You know? But I do get what you're saying though. But I might, because I do kind of miss the vibes of the YouTube streams when we were like going hard on YouTube for watching games. You know, I do kind of miss that vibe a little bit. But we'll experiment a little bit. You know, nothing's set in stone really. All right, love you all. I'll talk to you guys soon. Be on the lookout for videos, clips, all of this. Love you all. Bye.